Kyler Murray, a guy that you see so many memes of on social media, people saying he runs like a toddler. Honestly, they kill me, man. These NFL memes, I'm sure even the players love them. Like, come on, they're golden, right? Tonight was pretty impressive from Kyler. I mean, he led a comeback drive. He brought them back from a 13-point deficit, a 14-point deficit. They were down in the dumps, and Kyler dug them up, threw 2 interceptions in the first half. Not sure either of them were on Kyler Murray. But I think the question remains, up to this point, is Kyler Murray a franchise quarterback? I think a lot of people are asking the exact same question, and they have been really since he entered the league. Here's my thing with Kyler, and here's my take. He's very hard to trust as a quarterback, and for me, that's a problem. You know, if you are a fan of the Cardinals, and to be fully transparent, I haven't watched them a lot this year. Tonight, I had an opportunity to see the Cardinals and see what they're all about. I was a little higher on them, actually, heading into the season. I think their defense is underrated, and their offense has some great talent, but I haven't watched them too closely as I have maybe my Buffalo Bills, obviously. But over the past few years, assessing Kyler and his abilities, look, it's undeniable he's a great athlete. He was picked in the top 10 in 2 major league drafts, baseball and football. That's great. You know, he has shown these splashes and moments of excellence, right? There are sparks of greatness from Kyler Murray that make you excited as a fan, I'm sure. But unfortunately, that's not going to do it in the NFL. And I talked about the eye test last week with Justin Herbert, and I want to talk about it with Kyler because I think it applies. I think when you're assessing quarterbacks as a fan, from an individual standpoint, just watching the games, you can tell a lot by just watching. We can break it down to stats, to different categories, arm strength, you know, the ability to read defenses. All of that is completely legit, but I think the one thing that has almost never failed me is the eye test, being honest with myself and being honest with my gut. My gut feeling about Kyler is that he's not a franchise guy for the Cardinals. You know, I watch a guy like Justin Herbert, who hasn't had any playoff success. For some reason, I have complete trust in him as a quarterback and his abilities. Because when I watch him play, he's big out there. He sees the field really well. You can clearly see the arm talent, the consistency, the big play potential. It's all there. Like, it's hard to explain because, and I'm being like very vague here because I don't have any stats or anything prepared for the episode. I'm purely talking based off opinion and just my eyes. But I truly believe when it comes to quarterback, my eyes do not deceive me. I'm watching, and you can see, if we're going to be honest, there are some quarterbacks in the gray area, right? There are some quarterbacks that kind of float, like Jared Goff, right? Play some great games, play some bad games. He floats in the gray area. Kyler may be one of those guys, but I just don't have full trust in him. And that's a problem for me if you're a franchise quarterback. I think one thing about Kyler, he led a great game-winning drive. I don't want to take away anything from tonight. I thought he put his team in a position to succeed despite, you know, some errors maybe on the talent on offense and special teams errors, mishaps that you can't control. But again, I digress. Let's talk about Kyler real quick here and focus in on him. With a 2-minute drive, right? I don't trust Kyler Murray with the ball in his hands to win a game on a 2-minute drive, like I do Baker Mayfield, like I do Josh Allen, like I do Justin Herbert. When I watch Josh Allen, for example, drive the field with 2 minutes left, with a game on his shoulders, with a game in his hands, I have zero fear. I'm steady. I'm not trembling. I'm not worried. I have full confidence Josh Allen will deliver. And I just don't feel like that about Kyler. Tonight, I didn't feel about that. It's great. turned out to be a great result tonight. But can he do it on a consistent basis? I don't know. And we've had, 4 or 5 years now of Kyler Murray in the NFL with the Cardinals. At one point or another, you're going to have to make a decision. You're going to. And I think it comes down to, for me at least, the eye test. Does he look the part? When I watch him, can you clearly see? For example, before we hop over to Marvin Harrison, which we're going to touch on right away, my dad came down the other day when I was watching the Chargers game and came up to me. He's just a basic NFL fan, not an analyst by any means. And he says, wow, Justin Herbert is a baller. He's a gamer. And I realized in that moment again, there's truth to the eye test. Just to the regular fan, you can see who is in that elite category of quarterbacks. And I think we all kind of know it. And as fans, our biases creep in maybe. But I think with Kyler, it's just hard for me to look at him and have full, absolute confidence and trust in his abilities game in and game out to go out and make this team a Super Bowl caliber team.